Here on GoAztecs.com, Josh Rosenberg along with the head coach, Brady Hoke, entering his second season right here on the Mesa. Coach Hoke, always great to speak with you. How's the off-season going?
Well, recruiting went well, and I think the off-season conditioning, we've had 4 weeks of that so far, and I think our guys are doing a good job. Those early mornings are something that you really see the guys who want to play and love to compete. So I think we're making progress.
I know I say off-season, I use that loosely. I know you never stop thinking about football.
Right.
But Saturday is here already. Spring practice begins, and as we were talking about, this is pretty early for your team.
Well, it is, Josh, and it's a little different than what we've done in the past. And just how the calendar falls with our spring break and trying to give guys some rest time in between practices, we decided we'd go early, get it all done before spring break, come back, and then we'll have 6 weeks of continued lifting and running and doing the things that you usually do. But I think it really helps the schedule, so we're excited about it. But it really came on us fast.
All right, describe a typical Brady Hoke practice, something that I would imagine is similar to what you do in August, September, and October also.
Well, obviously in the spring, you're gonna compete daily, and you're going to compete against your offense, and we always have winners and losers. I mean, there's always consequences for losing, and obviously good things that happen when you win. So we want to create an environment with a high tempo, physical nature to how we're going to play, and really create a mentality and an accountability as a football team.
Is it okay sometimes if it gets too physical, too competitive out there, where you have to remind them
That's
we're
right.
all the Aztecs?
Yeah, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't like it when it got like that. I mean, I think the physicalness and the competitiveness that it takes to play the game, we want our guys to play on that edge and not go over it, but you want that way of playing as a group or as a unit or whatever it might be to be pretty competitive.
And Coach Hoke, I realize the junior college transfers, they're going to be able to participate. Any high school kids coming out for the spring practice?
The one guys that we get in, Ronnie Hillman's here now, and which helps, and I think it helps his development. He was here for fall for a little bit, and then Colton Morrison, the quarterback out of El Camino, who we had gray shirted, and a year ago Nick Imbernati was that way. He came as a gray shirt, and I think that really helped his development.
I know it's only February, but I saw your schedule. September 4th, Nichols State. Have you even started thinking about Nichols State?
Not really, not yet. They've got a new coach, a guy named Charlie Stubbs, who I coached with at Oregon State, is their new head coach, and their system is changing. They used to be a little more option attack, and now it'll be more like BYU and spread you out a little bit, but get the backs and the tight ends involved in the passing game. So, that's kind of down the road a little bit. But, what we've got to do is I think we probably got 65 to 70% of our offense in during the course of last year. There's some things that now that we know our personnel better that we need to look at on both sides of the ball, offensively or defensively, and make some adjustments, tweak the system a little bit so what we're doing fits what we have personnel-wise.
Coach, it seems like we always talk about areas for improvement. Where can you get better? Tell me where you're the strongest. Where are you the most confident? What unit of this team?
Well, you know what? I would say this. I think our secondary will be much improved defensively. I think, losing Luke and losing Jerry at the linebacker position, but you have, Miles Burris back. Andrew Preston, we're going to move to the Aztec position because of what he does. So I think we're a little thin there. We've got a chance to develop some guys. I think Jacob Driver, who was a redshirt, Nick Tenoff, are two freshmen that we really want to take a good look at. So, and then on the defensive front, Jonathan Soto graduated, but, Ernie Lawson's back and BJ's back and JJ Atula's back, Jake's back. So I think we've got some guys there and some younger guys that we've got to bring along. And then offensively, Josh, we got to get better up front. And the help of the junior college guys, 2 of them won't be here till after May because they got to finish some degree work at the JCs. But, some of those young guys who didn't play much last year, I think we'll have some nice surprises.
How about these areas where you say we're thin, there's some holes here? When you look to the incoming class, signing day was so fun. It was a lot of optimism. Can you identify a senior in high school and say he is going to start for me immediately when he comes here?
You know, I don't think you can do that. You know, I think, obviously you could do that on paper and look at a guy and say athletically he has what it takes, or, he has this skill set that really fits his position and what we do. But the biggest thing to me is, what those guys do from this point on, how they report to camp. Most of them will be here during the summer, and how their transition is, and how their responsibility to their teammates and how that is. So, we expect some of the junior college offensive linemen to obviously come in and compete and make us a better team. I think at the running back position, and then I think there's a couple defensive ends in this class. Not just Perry, the junior college young man, but I think the couple of freshmen will give us some added athleticism that we need.
And Coach, for you and your staff, it's a year-round job. Every day you're thinking football, how to get better. What about for the guys, the players that may take a week off to eat whatever they want or take a little vacation? Are you worried that maybe this Saturday some of the guys are going to be out of shape, some of the guys a little overweight?
We've got such a long Christmas break here, and without playing in a bowl game, they're away from you a little longer than I'd like them to be. But they had some parameters when they came back where they needed to be, with a running test and a lifting test and then body weights. And for the most part, they did a pretty good job. And now they've been in it for 4 weeks with Coach Wellman in the weight room and the different drill work we do in the conditioning phase of it. So we shouldn't have anybody who's not ready for the spring.
Is that something you tell the kids when you recruit them? This is a year-long commitment. It's not just a few months of football.
Well, that's what Division I football has become. And, obviously there's some discretionary weeks that are built in there for the NCAA. But, it really has become 12 months a year. And I don't know if I particularly like that, because you still want kids to have the opportunity to be a kid.
Sure.
And I think our guys get enough of a little breakaway. It's easy for me to say, but I think they get enough of a breakaway, and the way they compete and the guys we want in this program, they're ready to play football.
Real quick, first impressions of the new athletic director, Jim Sturk. I know we've all just had a chance to meet him.
Sure. Well, I think everything I know about Jim, and obviously I did my homework also on him, and some good friends that I know and people I respect, and from Bill Doba to Chris Del Conte, who's the AD at TCU, to the old strength coach at Washington State. I've heard nothing but great things, and I know we're all excited about Jim and what he'll bring to the Aztecs. And
finally, I know I have to ask this question on behalf of all the fans who want to see your team. You think we're going to be able to see your team? Are you going to open up one of these practices?
Follow the rules and regulations, Josh, and we'll be okay.
All right, Coach Hoke. Getting ready for spring practice. It all begins on Saturday right here on GoAztecs.com.